That Metal Interview.
A band formed in 2006 in the British city of Manchester in England. When they started, the band consisted of vocalist Jason Evans, guitarists Sean Hynes, Sam Yates, bassist Brad Fuller, and drummer Lynn Jeffs, who are all original members. That was the original lineup right there. And it still is, huh? Kind of. So anyways, our guest for today's podcast, That Metal Interview podcast, is none other than Sean Hynes, one of the guitar players for Ingested. That's the name of the band, Ingested. Whoever knows the band, you guys know they're fucking badass. Whoever doesn't know, check it out. Ingested, INGESTED. Download it, stream it. Ingested, awesome band. Metal to the core, man. So anyways, these guys have toured the world, man, and endless names, you know, the Black Dahlia Murder. They've toured with the Cryptopsy, you know, everybody. Anyways, my name is James, and thank you for accompanying us. Thank you for being with us today. Whatever you're doing, we hope you guys enjoy this conversation with the guitar great Sean Hynes of Ingested. And he'll also talk about this strange subject where Ingested is done playing songs from the Surpassing album, Surpassing the Boundaries of Human Suffering, released in 2009. And he'll talk about that, okay? So I'll let him talk to you guys about why they're not playing those songs anymore from that Surpassing album. Anyways, Sean Hynes from Ingested. How did the decade of Human Suffering US tour go overall?
Overall, it was good. The package was strong. Obviously, there's a few markets that suffer, but for the most part, it was a good tour.
How was the fan reaction?
It was different than the tour we did in Europe. It felt like there was a lot of fans in Europe that were specifically out to see that album, whereas America, it didn't seem like they were really too bothered that it was a celebrating tour of the first album, but they were out there just to see us anyway. So, you know, it's a little bit mixed, but overall, it seemed like everyone was enjoying themselves, so I can't complain, really.
Yeah, there's some, US has some crazy crowds sometimes, that's what I heard, so.
Yeah, for most of the time. I mean, certain areas are pretty, can get pretty violent. Just depends where you go.
I saw a post that you guys are also done playing songs from the Surpassing album. Does that mean you won't perform these songs anymore? Ever?
A majority of them, probably, yeah.
Why is that? Did you just guys want to retire the album?
Yes and no. For now, we're done with that chapter, but, you know, in the future, there may be times where we slip in a few old songs, but for now, we've had our time with that material and that album. Obviously, before the album was even recorded, most of the material that we played was before the album, so you could probably say we've been playing that stuff for 12, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
It's time to introduce some newer stuff into the set. So we'd rather make room for newer stuff than stick to the old stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because even when you look at like our Spotify numbers and what people are listening to, it's mainly new stuff rather than old stuff anyway. So, you know, times change.
Here's a different question. Do you guys rehearse a lot before a tour, or do you guys don't rehearse? You just go as a machine and just go?
Pretty much. Our drummer moved to Spain a few years back, so rehearsing with him was next to impossible. And for the past 2 years, our touring cycle's been pretty heavy. So there's not really been a whole lot of downtime to, like, you know, get in a room and rehearse and stuff. It's usually, we do a tour, we have a couple of weeks off, then we straight back out again. And like the logistics of getting our drummer over from Spain and stuff, it was just always difficult. So yeah, we've probably rehearsed 3 times in 2 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys are, I mean, I'm a metalhead, you know, I'm sure many fans feel the same way. Ingested is a badass band, badass style, and whatever you want to call it. How did you guys get discovered or signed?
If memory serves me right, I mean, when we first started, we were on a label called Grind Ethic, which is like an underground kind of death metal label. But
Yep.
back then we just used to play underground shows with bands and friends of bands, and they just, we played with the guys that own the label, played in bands, so they just kind of like took us on. But when we signed to Siege of Immediate, which is probably our first proper label, I think a label rep came to a show in London. I can't remember what show it was, but he saw us there, or some of our friends told him to come down and check us out, and that's kind of how it started, really. We got an offer pretty soon after that. It was probably around 2008, maybe,
Yeah.
something like that. So yeah, just playing shows, man.
Yeah, just playing shows. You attracted labels and fan base and all that.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Walk us through the writing process of an Ingested record. Do you guys write what you feel at the moment, or do you think of what people want to hear live?
Good question. We have become conscious of how material would go over live, so that's definitely crept into the style over the past couple of albums. Before then, we just wrote for what we wanted to write. But I'd say from the Level Above Human, last EP, and our new album, we've definitely taken the vibe that we want live. As you want to be able to pick 10 songs off the album and be able to play them live, rather than saying, oh, let's have these 3 songs, strong ones, to play live, and then the rest can be album filler. But we've kind of wanted to keep all the songs on the album, like be able to play them live and have like a good impact and stuff. So definitely with the writing style's changed in that respect. We definitely write with a live setting or a live situation in mind.
Yeah, since you guys are a heavy touring band, you gotta right?
It's got to be comfortable,
right?
You got to enjoy what you play live, man.
You can't go out there with a ballad.
I mean, you never know. There might be room for a ballad one day. You'll see.
The Call of the Void EP, 4 great songs, great stuff on there. Is there a reason for the EP? Why not a full-length album at that time?
The market's changed, man.
Okay.
We wanted something kind of quick off the bat, and it's like it gave us something a product to give to the fans throughout the whole 2019 tour cycle, because we released Level right at the start of 2018, so that entire year was dedicated to that album, and it's like we didn't feel like we could continue another year just touring off the album. So we had that in mind anyway, to do an EP, but we didn't think we were going to do it as quick. But we thought, let's just get it done 2019. We can have something new for the fans, something for them to listen to, and that's kind of why we did it, really.
Who came up with the band logo? I love the band logo. It's badass.
I drew that years ago.
Really?
Yeah, there's it's not the original one. The original logo was it's the same shape, but it was really, really messy and not symmetrical. And then just before we recorded the first album, we redid it again to make it as symmetrical as we can, and we've just done a new one. So we had that logo for 10 years, and then we've just redone it again, so it's even more symmetrical. So it's the same shape, it's the same thing, but the original concept was mine.
Good work, man. Awesome.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I noticed you guys posted different Spotify playlists on Instagram. I gotta say, man, they're awesome bands on there, awesome taste and influences and all that. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. It's the stuff we grew up to, stuff we grew up playing the guitar to, just different influences and stuff. So yeah, all those bands that you've listened to in the playlists have had some sort of some influence on us in some way or another.
Yeah, that was my next question. Influences. Who are your personal influences?
Many of the players on those playlists. I mean, Terence Hobbs from Suffocation springs to mind. John Gallagher from Dying Fetus. What else? Rob Arnold from Chimera. He had a big influence on me. He's actually the reason why I play ESP guitars.
Absolutely.
I first saw him playing the M1000 series back in early 2000s, and that made me get that exact guitar. And so yeah, he's pretty much the reason why I play ESP. And newer influences, DL, who used to be in the Acacia Strain. I love his style. So So that's kind of a newer influence that's kind of, you know, stuck with me. Just stuff like that, man.
What's next for Ingested after all this coronavirus thing blows over? What's next for the
Everything we had planned the next 2 months has been cancelled, so I don't know when we can get back out on the road. We hope we can do soon, because, you know, there's a lot of territories we were going to hit for the first time, but it just wasn't meant to be, I guess. I mean, we had obviously the rest of our European tour got cancelled after a week, so that was done. And then we had Australia, Southeast Asia, we had Japan coming up, so they're all cancelled. And then we had like the summer off, and then we're supposed to do Hellfest in June, but I mean, Download's just been cancelled, and that's early June. So, I mean, the festivals are starting to drop off too. So I don't know if a Hellfest will make it. So, I mean, realistically, the next thing, if that gets cancelled, is August. And if it isn't, you know, if this situation isn't sorted out by August, then I have no idea. I mean, we've got some stuff in the works for like the winter time and towards the end of the year. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see.
Hopefully things change for, you know, I'm sure people want to get back to normal life, and
absolutely, man. I hope so.
What's your best gig and your worst gig?
Good question. A gig that comes straight to mind for me is when I used to play in a band called Annotations of an Autopsy. We went on tour with Cannibal Corpse and Dying Fetus, and a UK band called Trigger the Bloodshed back in 2009, and we played a venue in London called Coco's, and it was sold out. And for me, back in the, you know, how many years ago was that? 11 years ago. It was that was quite a big gig for me at the time. Ingested Bloodstock Fest in 2018 springs to mind. That was insane. There was like 5,000 or 6,000 people.
Really?
That was pretty sick. Worst gig? Oh, there's been a few of them, man. One springs to mind is Milton Keynes. What tour was that? It was probably, I don't know, a good 11 years ago again. I think we played to 3 paying customers and the rest of the bands in a pub in Milton Keynes. I think it was called the Crawford Arms. Anyone who's listening to that from the UK, they probably know that venue. There's been a few, man. Yeah, I mean, that's the one that's right there, but there's been a lot of misses and, you know, equally as amount of hits, so you know,
it's normal. You know, there's good gigs and bad gigs. You know, I'm sure.
I feel like you've got to work. You got to work towards those good gigs, man. You've got to put in the work. I mean, you're gonna have some shot shows here and there, but eventually down the line is going to be a payoff. So that's kind of what you just keep doing it, keep going for it, man.
Any message you want to send your fans, the Ingested fan base listening to this podcast? A message for them?
Yes, all the fans, man. Just keep streaming our stuff online. You know, our merch stores are shut down for now, but you can still buy merch and it gets shipped out whenever you can. Just support us in that way. Just keep sharing us. You know, come on our socials, like our stuff, check us out. Just anything you can do, man. And goes for the rest of the bands because everyone's suffering at the moment. But you know, it means a lot. Cheers.
Awesome. Big shout out to the rest of the band members of Ingested. Thank you, Sean, for spending time with us. That metal interview.
Appreciate it, man.
Cheers, and good luck on the tour soon, hopefully.
Exactly, man. Sweet. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Don't forget to support all these bands that are at home, not working. These people, these bands, they live off of being on the road, selling merchandise, this and that, etc. So right now, with all this coronavirus thing going on in the whole world, support your bands. Support them by going to their website, purchasing merchandise, CDs, and this and that, whatever you want to buy from the band. That would be of great support to all the bands of any genre, really. But, of course, this is a metal show, so my job is to push the metal world. So, Ingested, we hope you guys enjoyed our conversation with Sean. Thank you, Sean, and thank you guys for bringing metal to the masses. Don't forget to pick up their latest album by the title of The Level Above Human. That was released last year. I'm sorry, that's 2018. I'm sorry, my bad. So, but we do have a brand new song that we're spinning and that they released, Impending Dominance. Brand new song that they released, Ingested, Impending Dominance. Don't forget, we spin it here on jrocksmetalzone.com. So thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, social media. Download our podcast on iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, and so on. Thank you for supporting metal and support Ingested and all the metalheads in the world. Thank you for tuning in to That Metal Interview podcast with James. And don't forget to keep it metal.